Easter was just last week, and by now you're probably going to believe me when I say that Christian holidays are being whitewashed from North American society, and it just can't be ignored anymore. Of course, Easter is the most important holiday in the Christian faith that celebrates the resurrection of Jesus Christ. What's really weird is that the holiday, like other traditionally Christian holidays, has slowly turned from faith-based and into a marketing campaign for companies to sell stuff and really just a time for little kids to have fun. Looking for eggs and the Easter Bunny actually have more to do with kids getting goodies from their parents than Jesus nowadays. And if you don't think this is happening, let me give you some examples. Google hasn't had an Easter theme in 17 years. The last time they made a doodle for the holiday was in 2000. People have been talking about this for years too. Google's response? That they represent a wide variety of holidays. Actually, most of the highlighted celebrations are pretty obscured and secular, except they've devoted an entire subpage and app to Ramadan, the time where Muslims abstain from food, drink, and physical needs to observe the first revelation of the Quran to the Prophet Muhammad. And then there was the coordinated attack on Coptic Christians in Egypt on Palm Sunday that ISIS took responsibility for. At least 45 people died, and this came after another similar attack just a few months earlier. You know what the media chose to focus on instead? A man having a temper tantrum on a United Airlines flight. Instead of covering a targeted terrorist attack on Christians, they decided to carry on about someone being dragged off of a flight for 3 or 4 days. Actually, they're still talking about it. There was almost complete silence on Coptics, though. Which brings me to a fire set at a Catholic church by a former parishioner that Kathleen Wynne, the Premier of Ontario, completely ignored. Yet she had no problem speaking out on a fire being set at a Peterborough mosque. And remember when I said Easter is more about kids having fun and less about Jesus? Teachers at a school in the States claimed that they had to use different shapes other than eggs for what was supposed to be a fun quiz game for kids so that they could avoid using the word Easter to be inclusive of all religions, even though there's nothing biblical associated with the egg hunt or the Easter Bunny. And yet right here in Calgary, we have an ongoing court battle to allow Muslim prayer in schools. And speaking of Easter eggs, British chocolate maker Cadbury even removed the word Easter from their signature chocolate eggs, while a Cadbury employee proudly displayed a halal certification as he stood with Cadbury products. Inclusion and diversity are the new trend, and Christianity just isn't where it's at. It doesn't fit the bill for social justice warriors and progressives. Christianity is the dominant world religion, especially in North America, so Christians must be privileged and therefore must be attacked. Meanwhile, Muslims have become the new tokens for progressive politics, even though Islam is the most rapidly growing religion in the world and is set to outgrow Christianity by 2075, according to a report from Pew Research. They may be a minority group here, but not across the globe. They're just the new flashy, persecuted group to project over. Christian values are what Canada was built on. We don't have enough history here, as say compared to Europe, to say that our culture is being destroyed by multiculturalism. Canadians don't really have a developed culture unless it's a culture of hockey and beaver tail pastries or something. But we can say that who we are is being redefined. Actually, I'd go as far as saying that Canadians don't really have an identity. But if I were to choose one thing that did define us, it wouldn't even be religious Christianity, but basic Christian values. So what this virtue signaling is doing is it's actually wiping away these values, basically the only thing that we've ever really had to stand on, and we've become so passive that we're just letting it slide. We've found a way to become so inclusive of other faiths that we're making the one that our society is built on disappear altogether. For the Rebel.media, I'm Holly Nicholas. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked that video, click the button to the side to sign up for our brand new Rebel Canada YouTube channel so that you don't miss out on any of the content that you just won't find anywhere else.